Hello, everybody. This is the Rumour Wrap. My name is Conor McGilligan, and this is One Leeds. This is your concise, condensed version of the Rumour Mill, which we record every morning at 10 a.m. on weekdays. What's going on in your world? This video is proudly sponsored by Shop G&O. It is also proudly sponsored by the Job Match Group. For further details on both of those brands, please check the links in the description below. Well worth it. Let's get on to today's news, shall we? And as well, everybody, you can listen to these on your audio sites. We're available now on Apple Podcasts. We're available on Deezer, Spotify. If you want to check that out, make sure you do so. I know a lot of you are doing things every single day and can't sit down and watch my ugly mug talking about football transfers. So you can listen to it instead. So the latest episode, The Mill from this morning, is now on all of your podcast providers. But make sure you check that out after this for rumours which we don't really touch on in the wrap. Right, everybody, we're going to be starting off with Max Arens. He's linked to Leeds again. Can you believe it? About the 6th year running. What is going on with this guy and Leeds United? It's just the Daniel Farke thing consistently. But what I will say is it would not surprise me. There's all of these rumours, and some people are getting a bit annoyed at the rumours. What I will say about the rumours, everybody, is they're just rumours. Don't take them so seriously. Don't get so invested in them as well. I know there's a lot of people who comment every day saying, Conor, these aren't going to happen. I am not for one saying any of them are going to happen. In fact, I bet a lot of them don't happen. A heck of a lot of them don't happen. But we're here with the 3Ds, discourse, debate, and discussion, and that's what we encourage on the channel. So Max Arens is an interesting one. Linked with Leeds again. Apparently Sheffield United are also in the mix for his signature. That makes more sense for me. He's still going to cost a fair bit from Bournemouth, so maybe Sheffield United would go in with a loan with potentially an obligation if they were to get up next season. Leeds United, on the other hand, I just don't think he's good enough. I really don't. That's I've had very varying opinions on Max Arens over the years. I think for a championship right back, he'd be very good. I think as a Premier League supplementary right back to Jayden Bogle, he might be okay, but I can't imagine he'd want to come to Leeds and want to sit on the bench. But also I think there are stronger options out there when it comes to Lamptey, Semedo, Kenny Tete in particular, Kyle Walker-Peters. There are just more out there, better value with more Premier League experience. He didn't really feature under Carlos Corberán that much as illustrated there in the graphic. And I'm just not 100% sure for the money that we'd probably have to spend on him, which probably would be in around the 10 to 12 million mark. It would be good enough for Leeds United. You know, we need sustenance, of course we do, but we need a little bit of experience maybe there at points. And also you need proper out-and-out quality in the Premier League. I don't know if he'd be really able to just slip back into Premier League football again with effectively a year out of it. So interesting one to keep an eye on there, but it feels like Max Arens and Leeds United are always going to be linked. And listen, I think Leeds will have sounded a lot of these players out, all of these links, all of these rumours, all of this speculatory stuff. Guys, I wouldn't write it out. Agents are doing their work right now. Agents are earning their coin right now, and Leeds will be synonymous with a lot of names throughout this window because Leeds would have probably put the feelers out and tried to sort what's actually going on. So keep an eye on that one. Patrick Bamford, this is an interesting one that came up today when it comes to him and Wrexham. According to EFL analysis today, they're not giving up on Patrick Bamford. EFL analysis is suggesting that they've got obviously a lot of money in the bank. They've put money up as well, haven't they, for Tom Kearney, Josh Windass. And it looks like Bamford, despite reports according to EFL analysis, they are still looking at the 31-year-old. But however, according to this specific report, it suggests that Patrick Bamford is very, very comfortable at Leeds United. He's mentioned previously as well, hasn't he, about wanting to stay at Leeds and looking at the Premier League and seeing that as maybe a viable opportunity for him. I don't think it should be part, and I get the ambition. I like the fact that, you know, you wanting to go back to those 17 goal days. I just think it was crystallized in time, that moment. I don't think it'll happen again. I think Wrexham would be an amazing move for him. He's always mentioned about the MLS, and I think, you know, with Rob McElhenney and obviously Ryan Reynolds, I think there's a real link there. There's a lot of Americanization around Wrexham, so maybe that is Patrick Bamford's link if he was to go to Wrexham, carry on for a little bit and then go to the US. But I just can't see it happening. I think he's very cushy at this moment in time. A few years left on his deal, 70 grand a week. I think it's going to take a lot to get him out, and it might even be worth more than 5 million quid when it comes to a contract status, everybody. So let us know what you think on Patrick Bamford in the comment section below, and potentially leaving Leeds United. Do you think it'll happen? Moving on to Darra OShea at Ipswich. Now, this is an interesting one for me, a really interesting one, because I actually quite rate Darra OShea, believe it or not. I think he's a good centre-back. He's versatile. He can play in a fair few positions along that back line. And when I look at it, I think to myself, we could do a lot worse in terms of just getting a versatile replacement in, a little bit of rotation. Would he come in as that rotation type player? I'm not 100% sure. But I think we could do a heck of a lot worse, in my opinion. There's a lot of Premier League experience there. He's defensively reliable. He's excellent with set pieces, very aggressive from the back, strong in the air, leadership qualities, and once again, homegrown player, obviously Irish international. So what he's not great at is ball progression out from the back, and again, Ipswich fan will tell you that, but there are a lot of, and does that facilitate him maybe going to a more low blocky team? But will Leeds be like that? Are Leeds going to be a low blocky team in the Premier League? I think there's certain games where we're going to have to do it, or are we just going to be that sort of team in the Premier League? If so, Darra OShea, previously of Burnley, of course, I think would, in a Sean Dyche system, would really fit, I think, that style of play. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But I wouldn't rule someone like Darra OShea out. Available, and look, there's Fulham. Apparently Wolves are looking at him as well. 15 million quid, could probably do a lot worse. I wanted to talk as well about Nick Pope. Now, we'd mentioned Nick Pope, and we'll talk about this guy first, shall we? Anthony Cassie, I clearly got a bit excited on the design of the graphics today. But Anthony Cassie is someone who Leeds United are interested in. Foot Mercato are suggesting that apparently he was on his way to Rennes, but Leeds United, Dortmund, and Fulham are now trying to hijack that deal. Now, who is Anthony Cassie? A very good player for Rennes, somebody who can play left back, left wing, and has actually played on the right wing at points this season as well. Known for how good he is defensively. Numbers, ground duels are very good. Someone, once again, probably of a different profile, using that word again, to Junior Firpo. Not really known for his constant attacking bombardment of the opposition half. A little bit more for his defensively resoluteness. And we'll have to wait and see if this one develops. As I say, Mainz have had a really good season. I, as you guys know, like their centre forward. And it'll be interesting to see if this one works out. But apparently Leeds, Dortmund and Fulham are looking to hijack that deal with Rennes. So keep an eye on that one, everybody. Okay, now we'll move on to Nick Pope. So this is just from my perspective, really. Did a little bit of follow-up work, and from obviously this morning, it was deal done, deal dead, all this sort of stuff. Newcastle want to keep him. Nick Pope wants to stay. But I was told a little bit earlier on by tier 1 Newcastle journalists that it wouldn't be dead in the water yet. Don't think to yourself it's going to be dead and gone right now. So Lee Ryder, obviously of the Newcastle Chronicle, was speaking. I spoke to him a little bit earlier on, and he very simply put, and I will read it out. Was told he's happy at Newcastle, but things could definitely change later. So something to keep an eye on there when it comes to Nick Pope. I guess it depends, doesn't it, on the level that Leeds can go on. That's why I put maybe 10 million quid here. I had 8 million quid on. I believe he's got 1 year left on his deal. But if Leeds up the value, up the wages, could they get Nick Pope through the door? Stranger things have happened, people. 100%. Okay, something that we're not going to be that happy about on this one is Igor Paixao. Now, you can see that big badge next to the Leeds one. According to the Times Sport, Arteta is now very, very keen on Morgan Rogers and Igor Paixao. So, as you can see on the thumbnail, it's pretty much deal dead. I do feel if an Arsenal came into the equation, I look at Napoli, I'm thinking, could we? Maybe. We spoke a little bit earlier on this morning about potentially Napoli, Leeds being able to get the upper hand, but it's never going to happen, is it? Serie A champions. Could Leeds maybe be able to give him the lure of the Premier League? He's mentioned coming to the Premier League, his idol, Rafinha, and all this sort of stuff. Could that be the little golden nugget for Leeds United? But now Arsenal are in the equation, and the Times Sport are reporting it's Morgan Rogers and Igor Paixao. It seems to be trending on the Arsenal network now. So it feels like that one could be done. It feels like that one could be done, everybody. But that's the carousel gone all the way back around. Let me know what you think on the rumours this evening, this afternoon. As I said, if you want to check out the rumour mill, obviously, this is the rumour wrap. If you want to check out the rumour mill from a little bit earlier on, make sure you do so. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock with all of your fresh news. As I say, check out the audio platform if you want to listen on there. Check out all of our sponsors, Shop G&O, the Job Match Group, and of course, the fantastic lads at Match Bingo. Guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. My name's Conor McGilligan. Do me a favour, slap a like on the video. It really, really helps the channel out. We're smashing it at this moment in time. It feels like it's like 1K a video, which is unbelievable. Let's get even more. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.